Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living. My name is Gary. Today we're going to be doing a Succotash stew. Now, most of you know I've been suffering with vertigo, and when you add this symptom, the tendency is to eat, and I've gained about 30 pounds. So the process is, I usually reverse it by eating frozen vegetables. Similar to this bag here. Almost dropped it. Anyway, so one of these pouches is about, get that. It's got a mixture of carrots, corn, green beans, and peas. And what I do is I mix it with a product called a salsa, which is a combination of avocado and tomatillos. And each tablespoon is only 20 calories, so I can get away with 2 or 3 tablespoons. Now that's great for maybe 3, maybe 4 days in a row. And after that I start saying, whoa, I need something different. So this time what we're doing is we're going to make our own combination of basically canned Succotash stew. Now in Succotash, what you have is predominantly it is going to be corn on the cob would be better, but I don't have that right now, and lima beans. But the problem is my wife Linda hates lima beans. She was forced to eat lima beans as a child. She won't touch one with a 20-foot pole. So I thought what I would do is I would go to the store and find a replacement for lima beans, and the closest I could find was edamame. But lately, for some reason, the edamame is just not available in our stores. So I decided to use green beans. Of course, it's going to be 4 cans of corn to probably 4 cans of green beans, and I'm going to add other vegetables to make it kind of interesting and more like me. So this is what this video is all about, so come and see it, and I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Now I'm not going to add any herbs or spices to this because all of these vegetables in here are pre-cooked. All we're going to do is mix them together on the stove top just to be able to make all the delicious vegetables to kind of have a uniform flavor. I am going to add some twist to it though. I'm going to add artichokes in water, so there's no oil in here. My shorts just arrived. Alright, I'm going to be cooking it in this just happens to be like my favorite spaghetti sauce. Homemade marinara sauce with a little bit of spice. I'm going to add original picante mild sauce. Alright, what's going to have in the Succotash stew is going to have some canned carrots. The only can that has lima beans are these, that maybe like 1 per quarter of the can. This can contains carrots, potatoes, peas, corn, green beans, celery, and lima beans. Linda's not going to eat this, I can tell you that for sure. But anyway, I'm adding 2 cans of those. I'm adding black beans. Linda can't eat black beans, I love them. Alright, so we're going to get our pots together and start cutting these things open and putting them together. Alright, so we're going to assemble the things we need to get this done. Look at that. Looks like you could see something over there. But there's nothing. It must be the vent coming out from the kitchen. All right, so we started off by putting the sauce first. So we're going to open up 2 cans. Now why this? I just happen to love this. It's cheating, yeah. Well, everything about this stew is going to be cheating because, oh, it's just so wonderful. That now there is oil in this product. So this is maybe vegan, but it is not starch solution. If you are following the starch solution and if you want to follow this recipe, just make sure you get a tomato sauce without oil in it. Okay, we're going to turn on the heat on the lower setting. I just washed my stove, so it should be nice. Okay, then after that, I'm going to put in some of the paste picante so we can start getting that cooked in it. The uncanning, basically, opening the cans. And this is my wife's favorite pot. Oh, I didn't get it all the way, but maybe we can get it out. Oh, you've got to remember to drain the fluid. Let me get a container for that. And I will explain why you want to do this. Now, on this can, we're talking about salt. There's 181 milligrams of potassium, and where's the sodium? Saturated fat, cholesterol, sodium. There is 320 grams of sodium just in this one can. And this is only for 1 serving, and there happens to be 3.5 servings there. So you multiply those numbers by 3.5, you can see that you have an enormous amount of salt. You don't want to put the liquid in. If you're sensitive to salt, you rinse these. I don't have that problem, but some people do. And you just, you're basically doing a canned stew. What you would normally do is you would cook the corn on the cob. I told my wife I was going to make this. She says, oh no, you're not going to be putting lima beans in it, are you? But most likely she wouldn't eat it anyway. Okay, on this one. All right, for some of you people who don't believe that this diet really works and you're worried about your carbs, on my diet, carbs don't matter. Practically everything I eat is a carb. And I still lose weight, I still have energy. What you see around my middle isn't carbs. What you see around my middle is sugar, or beer, or cookies. I just love Oreo cookies. Okay, so that's 4 cans. That is all the corn we're putting in. All right, so what I've done to save time is I've opened up the green beans. Normally this would be lima beans. Now my dogs just love green beans. It turns out green beans are very good for dogs. And since I'm vegan, I feed them to them all the time. They're always after my green beans. Oh, that was nice. Still some on the floor. And they are looking at it. And let me show you the pot now. So we've gone, reaches up to the juice. So that's 4 cans of corn, 4 cans of green beans. The main ingredients of this stew. Just a totally different what I normally eat. All right, let's add the exotic stuff now. All right, so what I did is I put in the black beans, the bush black beans in, but I did not remove any of the liquid because they were dry enough. Normally you have a little bit that you can pull out. Black beans seem to absorb everything. There's there is 450 milligrams of sodium in beans. So that in itself is going to add a lot of salt to this, which is why I mentioned to you not to salt it ahead of time. And if you were concerned with it, you should drain, and I've done that in some videos where I've actually drained and washed the beans. Okay, so that's 2 cans of Bush's black beans. And we're going to take a test and just see a little bit of what it tastes like. You have to continue doing this. A lot of multiple different flavors. But I am putting in half a jar of artichokes soaked in water. Let's get a spoon with holes in it. Okay. And we'll have to make sure there's at least half of it goes inside. I'm going to eat one just to test it. Oh, it's just delicious. I use this in salads because I eat a lot of salads. Okay, then we're going to mix it again. Now it has to boil once. It doesn't have to boil very long. So we're going to increase the heat to medium. It should look like this to you if you have your oven. Your stove top. Can you see it on the right? Okay. And we're just going to mix it in. And that's all there is to this. No other herbs need to be added because I like to add mine when I'm eating them. It's not going to need salt, it's not going to need pepper, it's not going to need cumin, a lot of the different herbs and spices that people put in. Alright, now it's just a matter of putting everything away. Now what do I do with those leftovers or sauces? Well, sometimes I incorporate them in my soups, and other times if they're too salty I get rid of them. Alright, so we're just going to put the cover on this. Ooh, it's a little dusty. Take care of that. And we're just going to put a timer on for like 15 minutes, and we'll go back and check it later. Here's one final shot. All right, remember I said that you can't just walk away like I insinuated by putting the cap on. You have to come back every once in a while and make sure the bottom isn't cooking on the bottom. The bottom vegetables aren't roasting on the bottom of your pan. So you just, okay, you can put this back on, come back in a few minutes, do it again. Do it over and over again until everything is hot. It's ready. But just in case, because you never know. We're going to put the pot right here. Oh, and it's heavy. Okay, so let's get started. I put everything in a freezer bag, and I try to lay, after it's filled, I try to lay it flat in my freezer. I pull it out, and that's a serving. It's a lot smaller size than when I buy. It's about this amount in my freezer bag. So to give you an idea, of course it's got a little bit of air in it. It pretty much has to be this much filled. And if it's filled like this, then it needs my meal. Now right now in California, we're having a heat wave. Today is supposed to be 115 degrees outside, which is why the dogs are inside and I'm inside. So
While I'm doing this, I'm going to be drinking my Perrier, which I just love this stuff. No calories, a little bit of fizziness, and I like that. But it does make it a hot chore to do, to cook when it's so hot outside, when all you want to do is watch TV and not move. Alright, so I like to use Ziploc. You can use any freezer bag you like. These are 1 quart size bags. I like to find a bowl that this can sit in. So as I'm putting it inside, hopefully it doesn't get all over the place. And just to make sure it doesn't go everywhere, we're going to put this mat underneath it. Because if it's me, it's going to go everywhere. Alright, so looking for a big spoon. I like to use these bigger spoons, like these gravy spoons, to put it in. And sometimes I even use giant soup spoons. Alright, so there it is. So we're going to move this closer. Not on the mat because it's hot. And we're going to make sure we have at least 1 artichoke. Oh, it's hot. I'm going to have to let this cool. Okay, so now that I see that, I'm going to have to get a bowl. Okay, so we're going to have to let this cool. And the fastest way to let it cool is get a big bowl, get it out of the pan. I have several around. I'm sure over the years you've seen me cool my vegetables this way. Okay, so that's bowl number 1. Okay, I've made a nice mess. I'm going to clean up this mess and we're going to let this cool for a little bit. Probably put some of it in the refrigerator so I can bag it and get it ready to put in the freezer. So we'll see in a few minutes. Alright, so don't judge me so hard because I'm vegan. So here's the pots in here. You can see they're cooling down just at the top of the fridge there. The rest is, I share my refrigerator with my wife who is not vegan. So there's eggs, which I don't touch, and other products that she uses. Alright, so we're going to close this down and make the refrigerator happy. So this is my new living room with my 2 dogs. Oh, one of them's gone. My new dining room table. So now it's the fun of every kitchen, every person who works in the kitchen, you gotta do cleanup. And I always do my own cleanup. I get to close my drawers and my cupboards all the time when I'm filming, but that's the main thing, is that you're gonna be cleaning up, and as soon as it cools down, say in an hour, 45 minutes, we're gonna put it in plastic bags and we're gonna put it in the fridge. Anyway, see you in a little bit, we'll get to showing you the last step. So my past videos, what I would have done is taken each of the bags, I would have shown you how I put them all in. But if you watch any of my videos, you know how I do this. And this is what I was aiming for, and this is what I got. So I got 5 bags, oh, can't count, 6 bags that I can mix in with my other vegetables to stay on my vegan diet. The really best part about this does not have to be warmed up. It tastes just delicious cold. And when the temperatures are like today, 115 degrees, there's no way that you want to cook anything. You probably can hear a dishwasher in the background. I want to let you know, because I use tomato sauce, I had to pre-wash all the bowls, because I know that in the past, that doesn't come out in the dishwasher. Just a little hint. That's it. Oh, one more thing. You don't have to use spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce. You can use diced tomatoes if you don't want to avoid the oil. That way it would be 100% a starch solution recipe.
The ice cream is my wife's and the rest is mine.
Alright, so the ingredients are Italian old peeled tomatoes, olive oil is a second ingredient, onion, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, and oregano.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan. Blah. It has bay leaves, garlics, fresh barley, thyme, onions, broth, olive oil. Okay, that's not it. Alright, so we're going to put away the stuff that we don't need. We don't need the salsa, and we don't need these frozen vegetables. Artichokes that are in homemade marinara, and I'm going to add to this more spices, whole green peppers. Now, let's not get carried away with these. These things are hot. Canned beets, you cannot put the juice in here. If you put the juice, the entire batch will be red. Not a bad thing, but you know. I'm going to add a couple cans of contadina diced tomatoes. Cut sweet potatoes in syrup. Now, obviously, this is not probably vegan sugar in here, but it's going to add a kind of a weird taste to it, which might be kind of interesting. I was thinking of maybe laying all of this on bulgur, which is a traditional grain, and I thought it might be nice to have that. Oh, what's going on here? It's 1 o'clock. It's just letting me know I have another hour before I do another chore. Okay, so that being said, so I think we're going to skip this. So skip this portion, Gary. Today is supposed to be 150. Now remember, I made this dish to make it a little bit different from my frozen vegetables that I normally eat at lunchtime or sometimes at dinner time. I made this instead. And what I'll do is I'll be alternating, because this has got a lot of salt in it and the other vegetable has no salt in it. But the advantage of this being salty is I do a lot of yoga, about 5-6 times a week, and so the salt will just replenish my body, part of the electrolyte process. And then every other day I'll be offsetting the prepared vegetables that I get at Sam's Club to my own vegetables, and it will give me a little bit of a chance to continue on my diet, continue to lose weight, and get better. And interestingly enough, this week I've lost 5 pounds. I've been going to yoga almost every day, watching my food intake very carefully, and I haven't had nearly the amount of vertigo as I've had months ahead. So it could be a correlation between weight and my emotions, or both, or nothing. Okay, so this is basically the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching me. No vertigo today, a good day, and I hope to see you soon in our next video. Bye-bye now.